Hey everybody, it's Bust with Battles with Bust 92, and today we're going to be doing battle with Ahri Bard. And so, Bard has had, kind of an interesting history in his release into the lands of Runeterra. People initially took to Bard with using things like Zed and the hand buff strategies. You see a piece of that here with the Navori Conspirator, but the Zed decks went a little bit heavier into that, and you're saying, well, if I'm putting all of these chimes on the units in my hand, what is the best way to take advantage of that? And it turns out it's pretty strong to give Zed a bunch of chimes before he comes in and attacks. That starts to run into what I've always called to be the Sun Disk problem, to where you've got all these stats on board, but your opponent just blocks and stuff. And even though you may have a 10 power Zed, your opponent just throws a cheap unit in front of him and negates all the damage. And so the answer to the Sun Disk has always been either you need rallies, you need elusives, or you need overwhelms. And so the next iteration of the Bard decks was going after the rallies. That's where you would see Bard Galio, you would see Bard Poppy, getting access to either Galio for rallies or Golden Aegis across both of them so that you can attack, clear out your opponent's board, and then attack again. So now what we're seeing up in High Masters is kind of the next iteration of that, right? We still have Bard and the Bird and Esmuth kind of chime package. We have a way to really load up a bunch of units with stats, whether or not that is using something like Greenglade Elder as a bonus, or Navori Conspirator bouncing Bard, Ahri bouncing Bards. We have, the ways to get the additional chimes going, and then we have ways to draw cards like Shadow Assassin or Recalling Dancing Droplet. And so the kind of ways to really turbocharge your Bard are here between dropping the additional chimes and dropping all of the card draw. But when we circle back to that Sun Disk question, now the answer is elusives instead of rallies. And so the big kind of game closer that you can get with this deck is going to be getting Ahri up to 4 or 5 or 6 attack or so, making a big flipped attack, and then doing the kind of machine gun elusive hit to OTK out your opponent. And so, lots of very similar things that we've seen out of all of the previous decks. We have a very easy time coming out here and going wide. We can attack the board differently with, say, a Thousand Tailed in the event that things aren't going correctly with Ahri. We have, a variety of elusives that can just win the game on their own between the Droplet and Esmuth and the Shadow Assassin all getting chime bonuses. But what starts to make this a little different from those other decks are the interactivity package that works very well in the meta that we have these days. And so what you're going to see is quite a bit of two different kind of ideas and strategies. It's still quite popular to have all the Feel the Rush decks running around, or to even a further extent, the concurrent timelines decks, to where they're trying to stall the board a little bit, ramp up, and then just play a Feel the Rush or play something big like a Buried in the Ice. We have ways to interact with those kind of strategies with the likes of Deny. And then we're also going to see lots of go tall type strategies. And so the variety of, say, Alawi decks or the various Viego decks, a lot of them are really, kind of hyper-focusing in on a single unit. And if you're able to get a really clutch homecoming on a Pantheon or a Faded unit, whatever, single unit that your opponent is really going all in on, then that can give us either a big tempo boost or just kind of outright win the game, depending on how good the bounce is. And so, has a lot of the makings of those earlier kind of classic, if you will. Bard's been out for 2 months, so we'll call him a classic deck now. those classic strategies that we've seen in the past, just being iterated on a little bit here, a little bit further. And so, with that being that, you all know what time it is. We can't go into battle without turning something premium. We do have to pay the pay-to-win price today, and I feel like the Maker is a pretty reasonable choice. I've always been a big fan of the Maker. I feel like she hasn't really found her place in the sun just yet, but the tempo boost out of this thing is pretty huge, and she also works quite nicely with the charms. And so, the pay-to-win price has been paid. Feeling pretty good. Do I need to check my loadout real quick? This is also very important. Oh, where's it at? Where's it at? All right, we got the good one here. We got the fist bump and all the proper emotes. Let's get in there. Let's get ourselves into battle. Feeling pretty good about it. All right, made our way into Diamond. We were at like 80 LP Platinum 1 in the previous video, and then in the course of my practice games with this ones, we rolled ourselves up into Diamond. And so, as these games start, the big things I'm looking for here are going to be Dancing Droplet, Bird the Bell Ringer, and then Ahri herself. We haven't quite hit that here, and I don't want to do things like hang on to this Navori Conspirator unless we have some of the payoff cards. And so we mulliganed into Bird. Don't have a great set of cards to use with him here, but better than nothing. There we go. Now we're starting to kind of churn through the chimes, if you will. We do get to run into the classic problem of Greenglade Elder, as to where we want to come out here. We want to play our 1-drop into our 2-drop into our 3-drop, and then if you do manage to pull that off, you've lost quite a bit of targets as far as the Greenglade Elder is concerned. I'm pretty okay with just dropping this Tusk Speaker with the Twin Disciplines here, leaving our Bird on the board, and then going into the next turn and just dropping the Greenglade Elder. Let us at least get a +3/+3 boost off of him before we play out the entirety of our hand. When Ahri makes an appearance, a little slow here. I'm still going to just go with the Greenglade Elder. Also give her a chance to get a level up with the Chime. Aw, make it rain. F. You boomed me real good, Strikestone. You boomed me real good. And I've been out here, I've been playing quite a bit of Path of Champions and getting things updated over on the FTP Bus site. And it's so strange to me now. It's like I'm seeing the Esmith and he's not drawing a card. I'm seeing the Bard and he doesn't have any relics. It's taken me a bit of thinking and brain power to understand that my units aren't exactly what they were in the Path of Champions. But you're still doing the work, Bard. You're coming out here doing a good blocker. You don't have your Stalker's Blade, but you're still doing okay. So, all right, little scary here, little scary. We haven't really achieved any recalls or done very much that our deck wants to do, but I think we're still okay here. We can get the Esmith going, we can get the Ahri going. We'll have a Concussive Palm for our opponent's turn if they try to hit us with a Sejuani or something. We might be able to make a bit of a recovery here. Okay, the big thing with this board is I want to get Bard up to 4 health, right? Our opponent has all of these 3 health units. I want to make sure that our Bard can both attack and survive this. So he gets the block by the Powder Monkey, that's fine. We still get to chunk in a bit of Ahri damage here. Okay. I'm pretty sure this is going to be a Concussive Palm turn. Very likely opponent's going to bring in either a Sejuani or a Gangplank here. Powder Pandemonium. Oh man, that wasn't on my radar. What's this thing even do? Summon a Powder Monkey, give a random enemy vulnerable this round for each time you've activated Plunder this game. Okay, so he's going to get 3 monkeys, and both of our units are going to be affected. We're about to get boomed here a little bit. We can. I'm looking to Homecoming out of this, and so he's going to, hook Ahri with one of these Powder Monkeys. I think we're realistically probably just dead this game, but this is going to be our way to survive, is to potentially get out of this just a little bit. So I went to Tellstone for Homecoming. And we could return the Powder Monkey. It prevents like a little bit more damage, and then he's just gonna like replay it, but I think that's safe enough. We're gonna take that damage eventually, but 6 falling to 1. Yeah, we're pretty dead this game. We're not gonna have enough elusives to come through. Oh, the Powder Monkey's just gonna kill us, right? Okay, fair enough. GG. Okay. Should have just conceded. Save everyone a little bit of time here. All right, that was a pretty potent Make It Rain. I didn't think to stop and play around it. I wasn't expecting a lot of those cards that came at us out of that game. Okay, on to the Yuumi Pantheon. So what do we got? I don't really like starting with Esmuth. I would prefer to start with one of the three cards we called out, right? The Bird, the Bard, or the Dancing Droplet. But it's kind of one of these spaces as to where this is like really painful for us if we mulligan and then just completely miss. And so I'm going to get rid of everything except the Esmuth, just as kind of the safety valve. I don't really want to just be hanging on to Navori Conspirators in a spot like that. Getting them. Yeah, bringing that aggro heat right from the get-go. Feels good. And this worked out okay. This is like one of these things I'd kind of postulated in a bit of our Path of Champions work, and that like, how many spells do we want to play in these Bard decks, right? If you really want to say like focus the chimes in on a single unit, right? We would really like to get the bonuses on our Navori Highwayman here. Then it does really pay off to just play a bunch of spells. It's not what we're going to be going for with this board, but I think it's kind of interesting when you see a hand like that to where we have... that's kind of fucked up, dude. Where we have the Highwayman that we really want the chimes to go onto with 3 spells. Alright, well this guy doesn't seem to be the kind of person that likes to have fun, but I think we're still doing okay here. Do we ever want to just Concussive Palm? Like, I think I'm going to be pretty happy with just playing Bird, using Bird to threaten the Mountain Goat, and then just banking 3 mana going into the next turn. Like, if he actually has a spell here to boost the Mountain Goat, then, you know, congratulations, I don't really care. Just need to prevent a bent of damage, and then the Bird's never dealing combat damage this game anyways. But right, if he Pale Cascades the Mountain Goat, we don't really care.
Come out from your shadows, demon.
Alright, the chimes aren't hitting how anyone would want today. They just split themselves across both of our Highwaymen. I'm ready, though. Like, I guess we could spend a recall on the Dancing Droplet and just kind of see what happens, but that doesn't sound awesome. Like, I feel like this is going to be a pretty good turn to just chunk in as much damage as we can, and then maybe on our next turn, we'll be able to kill with these elusives. So, right, we're going to lose to Navori Bros this turn. Not that big of a deal. Mainly just looking to chunk in this 4 damage.
Peace is a trail painted with blood.
Here they come. Here comes the squad. Scrote squad, if you will. Oh, that phrase. It always cracks me up whenever it hits. The old Scrote squad. It was a thing from the league where the dudes like to get together and just punch each other in the balls for a day. It's when Scrote season hits, right? You got to watch yourself when Scrote season is abound. Oh, what a classic piece of television programming. Even if you don't care about football or fantasy football or anything, those dudes really put in the serious work. But all right, what are we doing here? I'm leaning towards just dropping the droplet in front of the Saga Seeker and then putting a Homecoming from the Tellstones onto the Wounded White Flame. I think this will be good. We have a bit of protection here in the Deny in the event that opponent tries to not have fun again. So we'll see how this plays out. Cool. Saying Thousand-Tailed's not a bad draw either, letting us get the boost across this entire board. I think I'm kind of leaning here towards using a Concussive Palm and then dropping the Saiyan Thousand-Tailed just to get a gigantic attack in on the next turn. Right, so we get to stun one of his bros here. Ooh, any of that hit the maker? No. No, sad noise. But this is a pretty powerful board to be coming at them with. Like if he wants to play like, oh, he faded it, he put the faded unit back in his hand. He didn't replay the same dragon, but if he wants to add like more units or add pantheons or something here, we should still be able to chunk in a ton of damage. It's a little worrisome if we like don't get the kill, and that we don't have any good bounce in our hand. So if he like actually drops a Zenith Blade next turn, it could be a little scary. But in terms of just like killing with Pantheon here, I'm not super scared to die to Cataclysm. You have a deny for Cataclysms anyways. Okay. Oh man, he hit Lifesteal. That's always frustrating. Okay. So we're gonna have to do a lot more work here. Always frustrating when they hit the spell shield scout elusive, or when they hit the lifesteal when you're trying to punch in your big lethal. But we got a ton of cards in hand. He's down to 2. We have a bit of interactivity here, and then of course being the basis of being a bard deck, our deck continually improves, and so I'd feel a little bit better if we had another like deny like card, but I think we're fairly safe here. As he drops the scary boom now. You can deny this, but then he still gets the extra Zenith Blade in his hand. Okay. So it's like, man, we can't even really soak up what's on the board because he hit... Oh, he doesn't have Scout. Okay. I thought he hit Scout with Pantheon. So as it is, he can't lethal us just yet. I think I feel safe. A little safe dropping Bard. Right? If he wants to Cataclysm, or if he wants to play a... What do you call it? Play a... Golden Aegis, then we still have the deny mana for that, and he can't kill us with what's here. It's a little scary when he can like challenge hook into Dancing Droplet, but we should be able to prevent most everything from the Wounded White Flame. And then I'm going to block the White Flame with Bard. Is that how we want to do it? Right, it's like if he has a... Well, it's not true if he has a combat trick. He could have the... Oh, he's already hit his Faded for the turn. Okay. So this should be safe. Safe enough. Looks like he's trying to set up a Golden Aegis here. But it's a little odd he didn't hook in the Droplet if that's the case. Concerted Strike. So he hits us for 6, takes us down to 5. Okay. Not that big a deal. Is that Homecoming a day late and $1 short? But he's down to 1 card. We're getting a fairly scary collection of elusives here. I think that we're not going to be able to win this turn because Pantheon's been ridiculous, but can we... I'm not sure how the Maker works. Can you target Pantheon with the Maker even though he's not of the appropriate size, just to pop his spell shield? Nope. Trying to do it, it says the translation's missing. Our play does not translate. And so that's not going to do it. We can make some of these plays where we try to like bounce the Wounded White Flame, but I don't feel like that's the answer really either. Just the big thing here is to not drop below 4 mana. Alright, so let's just do this. We'll come in with these two. Oh, there's just such a good chance that we're dead next turn. Maybe we should have played the Saiyan Thousand-Tailed. Or we can just like preemptively boost or preemptively remove, try and remove Pantheon. Doing Discipline's not it, but it might get us in a space to where we can survive some of this overwhelm. Alright, so we maybe could have gotten a couple of points of damage in here, but by playing the Thousand-Tailed before we hit with our elusives, but kind of tough. I do feel a little bit better, though, not having all of these tiny units on the board. Damn. So, are we too far away? I don't think so. Oh, did we not? I was looking for that Homecoming. We played the Homecoming last turn to stop the Pantheon. Okay. Damn. So close. I feel like I'm 100% certain he could have hit like any combination of keywords on that Pantheon except lifesteal, and we would have won that game. I'm like pretty confident in that. He could have hit the bullshit with the scout elusive and spell shield, and I think we could have dealt with that. It was just like when we're trying to punch in the killing blow, and he's like, "LOL, here's my my lifesteal for you." Then that's kind of brutal. All right, birds. We got all the copies of birds today. Let's see how this start goes. All right, well, hitting the boost on Esmuth, I'm not going to play around AoEs. And so if he has like a Curator or something here and trades with Bird, that's fine. But this feels like about the most aggressive line we can take. And that it lets us hopefully generate a bunch of stats onto the Highwayman. Right, our big concern against this match is going to be them hitting us with AoEs. When he plays into Lysandra, I want to get a Conspirator down this turn. Like, it sucks to kind of like lose stats with our off of our birds, though. Like, I'm kind of thinking of like, what if we just put down a Droplet, put down a bird, and then open next turn. I think I'm on board with this. We can get another unit up to dodging AoE range. Okay. He just gave up on Lysandra. I'd be pretty confident that there's a Blighted Ravine about to be on the way. My confidence has been shaken. There it is, just the Avalanche version. Sure. Okay, we'll just bank up this mana. We should be, kind of getting to that space to where we can start playing spells. I know we have a handful of units, but that kind of thing should be imminent. Pretty close to flipping Ahri. We got a lot of the tools to flip Ahri here. I don't know if I should say it's been unfortunate with the chimes or not. It feels like we could have done a little bit better. It's like when our answer to a lot of this board is the Navori Highwayman, and we've had it in our hand the whole game, but haven't been able to give it any boosts. All right, well, I think we're going to be on the path of trying to chunk in these elusives. We might be okay if he doesn't have something like the AoE shrink your team, right? Hopefully we've dodged the AoEs at this point. This is a very AoE-able board as well, but I think that's where we come close to getting him. Okay, let's make Ahri a 3 attack. She will, and well, she'll end up dying to this Frostguard Thrall, right? No, he can't block appropriately. Okay. She should be fine. Alright, and I think we have to get Bard down. I want to be able to just throw this big set of health in front of something of opponents here. He's going to have 24 Overwhelm. We at least have a 6 prevent from Bard coming out of that. Alright, Twin Disciplines, save us. Save us. Neg 22 right there. I'm okay to give up Ahri. We can, like, block with the Dancing Droplet, right? Ahri's probably not going to flip, but I think we need to keep our elusives. All right. The scary thing with, like, the play we just made is we died a Blighted Ravine. And so I guess we'd realistically just lose to Blighted Ravine anyways, like if he kills off all of our dudes, but I'm not sure if we could have played around that any better. It's like it just leaves you in that spot to where if he, like, we could preemptively... Right, we could have played the Twin Disciplines in combat so we didn't die to the 2 damage, but then if all of our units just got AoE'd, we would have just died anyways. And so we did have a Dancing Droplet in hand, but that seems like kind of a tough spot to be in. I think you just have to accept that you lose the game if that's what happens. Alrighty, round 4, on to the Sentinels. We hit an Ahri, but we didn't hit any of the 1-drops to go along with her.
Let's get to work.
You're getting to work, Forge Chief.
Watch your backs. Let's go, people.
We get to come out and make the world's biggest tempo play if we want. We get to get to use the Maker to bounce the Forge Chief. I don't think so. Let's get this bird going along with Ahri. Brings in a fancier, that's fine. Got a mystic shot for us. Nope. Alright. Here comes the squad. Scroat squad coming at you. Excellent. Really surprised we didn't lose our Ahri. Who'd that hit? We had two. Hit Saiyan Thousand Tailed. Oh, we just hit one. Alright. We can't take down the Jace. What? Do we want to return any of this stuff? Sending these units going back with the Maker doesn't seem particularly good. Takes down Esmuth. Okay. It's like I feel like we've really been like towing the land of safety, just passing with no mana up in the Ahri, but opponent hasn't shown us any punishes for it, so I guess we're okay. Need to find something a little bit more to do here, though. And do we ever really just drop the 2-power Highwayman? I mean, it does suck that he's gonna get a good block with Jace, but the rest of his blocks are all fairly terrible. Do we want to bounce the bird? I mean, I think it's his like best block onto bird. So we miss out on the card draw, which always feels terrible. Maybe we just attack like this and leave bird back. Get the card draw off of the droplet.
Step aside.
Is he gonna drop in something down here? Didn't do it just yet. Interesting. There comes the big Chime blast. Jeez. It took you long enough. Alright, we don't have a deny. That was like a pretty weak production surge. Okay.
My friend and I are soul collectors.
Let's get started. Hextech engaged.
Just Jace. Huh. Okay. That's pretty decent, right? And I don't want to play Bard. I just want to be dropping the Saiyan Thousand Tailed next turn. So we have that space on our board already. That looks good.
Simon, your arrival honors us all.
Answers. I have them.
The forest surrounds us.
All right. Here they come. Like, seeing this board, it's like most certainly not going to be a lethal, but we get to come in with quite a bit of power. All right, let's see what the Donger can do. It's always scary when they have the Donger on board and he's not just immediately killed, but yeah, we can work with it, I guess. We can try and send him back with the Maker, but he's definitely going to get the opportunity to play his cards. So he still gets the fearsome, but Ahri's still here. Nowhere close to flipping. There's the big one. Turrets bound.
My gifts cannot be refused.
Okay, he can still burst those spells off and get the additional turrets, but this will get the Donger off the board at least. And so for his next round of stuff to do, he's going to have to spend that 5 mana to get him back down. Oh, brother spawned. Wow. I guess that'll keep the Donger in play.
Innovation must begin somewhere.
Wow. Do we need to play Bard? He's a pretty decent blocker here. Let's go for it.
Said so.
Okay. It wasn't that bad of a turn. Now we get another start with the Saiyan.
You rule the forest, Simon. As rules you.
No chimes in the draw though. Unluckiest person 2022. FTP bust. He's gonna thermogenic beam our Ahri. How would that be? Trouble bubble. Okay.
Two steps into moonlight.
Probably gonna lose our Ahri this turn, but I'm like pretty excited about getting Thousand Tails back. Okay. There she goes. You fought valiantly, girl.
The dark beckons.
Sturdy construction.
Okay, he can't lethal us on an open. That's the only like potentially scary thing for this turn. And then we have both homecoming and concussive palm if we need to send units back for whatever reason.
Cannot escape.
It's like I don't really want this Shadow Assassin going back to hand. Let's just concussive palm. Okay, then do we need to bank the mana? Right, it's pretty scary to, kind of like pass without the deny popping off here, and so I think we'll just stop here, and then see if we can't just like power through another full board again. It doesn't sound very exciting when the words come out of my mouth, but I think that's just kind of the world we're in. Maybe we do drop the homecoming. I mean, fucking fine. Making me say curse words on the video, my dude. So let's see. All right, so we'll play Bird. We're just going to fill out the board and then play the Saiyan.
What seems to be the problem?
The Order rewards its faithful.
Sucks not having mana, but I mean, I feel like we're almost to the point to where we're like about to break through and outvalue this Heimerdinger. It's like it feels like we're so close to doing it, or just getting an Ahri kill. One or the other. I feel like we're almost there. It didn't seem very good. Like, what am I missing with that play?
I will play my part.
So I'm fine with trades with either of these, right? If he puts the floor be gone in front of the shadow thing, Bird can trade with any of his board. Can hang on to the Saiyan for the moment. I don't want to just throw away Esmith. I don't want to throw away Bard. Okay. Sure. I was gonna say, it seems like he was up to like some kind of shenanigan there, where he's shock blasting units, but they aren't dying. Like, I don't feel like his end game was just generating a floor begone, but maybe it was. Maybe it was. So we're getting real close to this Ahri kill, right? That's our end goal with what's happening on our board.
Your attack is off.
Do we give up the Bard? Like, I don't want to lose too many units because I do want to still be able to try and get this big elusive attack in next turn with Ahri, but I'm not sure like what their burn package looks like or if they even have one. So maybe this is safe enough. Got that big 5 damage coming at us. Okay. So our Ahri probably needs to be bigger next turn, right? So let's play Esmith. We'll play another Esmith. We'll go ahead and play the Highwayman just to get it out of our hand. And then our draws for this turn should all be devoted to Ahri. It's only got the one elusive at this point. All right, let's see if we can do it. See if we can get there.
Night protects the huntress.
Progress day. How do we feel about that? Is that what he hit off of his Flash of Brilliance? Yeah.
Start running.
Pockets look awful heavy.
All right. Well, here comes the stuff. Game says neg 10. We got to deny. Nah, man. Nah. That's not happening. Trying to get kills on us and stuff. Get that out of here. Whew, man, we won a game. Won a game. This has been a brutal set. I think we should be able to get 2 more games in. This doesn't feel like one where we're going to be able to get the full 8. But sometimes you just have to play a 40-minute barn burner against some stupid Heimerdinger deck. You're at work and you sit down to take a shit, and then, 45 minutes later, your legs are all numb. Your boss is asking where you're at. All right. Let's see what we can do here. Pretty decent start in terms of playing against the Annie deck. The Annie deck is not the greatest matchup in the world, but we at least can come down and interact with it and stuff. I don't think I want to trade. Right, we've got this Ahri ready to pop off. We had Chime the Saiyan. Yeah. It's like, well, we can drop the Brigand or the Highwayman and then just throw away the smaller piece. Right, we can return it to our hand later with Ahri if we need to. We got to come down and prevent these damages for a minute. Okay, keep the summon guy on the board. Now a dancing droplet. I'm still like more interested in returning the Highwayman and generating these blockers over and over again. I do believe. The card draw with the droplet doesn't seem that important at the moment. Gonna lose our Ahri. Sad day. Sad day. Need to hit on the Highwayman though. You gotta give me them stats, please. Is this our time? Is this our moment to prevent all we can? So you're really dropping a Nox and Fervor on this space? Interesting. Seems like a bold move. So many rear guards. My boy, my bro. I love what you're about. Okay, maybe we'll get this, like, Maker bounce onto the Ziggs or something. Maybe. You know. One can hope, one can dream.
No one's the wiser.
Heard you're new in the area.
Here, I'm not entirely sure of this play. We could have played the Bellringer Droplet and saved the Highwayman for next turn, but it's tough. It's tough. We'll let him Waking Sands. I'm not going to deny that. We'll send Ziggs back to his hand here. This lets us... Yeah, he's a very expensive thing to have to come in and replay. Okay. Comes the attack.
Said so. I'm trying to feed my family.
So this will sort of prevent the most damage. We take like 1 extra from a rear guard, but we do get to save the summoner out of this. Okay. Little scary, little scary.
The forest and I are one.
All right, and then same as the kind of last go around, I want to return this Navori Highwayman to our hand. and then try and double up on the blockers. Things are starting to pop off, though. I mean, we have both Deny and Homecoming in hand. Did we just drop the Saiyan? I think we just dropped the Saiyan.
You rule the forest, Simon,
Like,
as it rules you.
it is kind of awkward where he just passes. Like, if he's sitting on double Decimate or something, it's kind of frightening, but...
Without mercy.
Ah, we got such a strong board now.
Like steps.
Hey,
Enjoy, Broheim. I wonder how close we would have been to lethal this turn had we not played the Highwayman in the previous turn, and then and then still had a couple of points of damage chunk in. Right, we could have attacked with the Dancing Droplet for, I believe, 2 damage. I'm not sure how that all would have sequenced out.
Ready to run.
Cannot block faster. All right, we fall to 3.
we don't want any trouble.
Gently, gently.
Oh, hang on. That's probably a mistake. I was thinking, like, how do we get this thing on the board? We're open to getting decimated now. Fuck me. I knew better than that. It was like I wanted to spend some of the mana this turn. Fuck. We should not have lost this game. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna mark it a 1.5 out of 3.5. Learn from my mistakes, friends. Learn from my mistakes. We're calling it a half of a win, half of a loss. Like, I was just sitting there, like, thinking in my head, it's like, okay, I want to get something on the board, but I can't get the Saiyan on because he's too expensive, because that spends my Deny mana. But then it was like another piece of me was thinking, it's like, I want to get the Concussive Palm on the board, but I need there to be a unit in order to do it. And, like, the two thoughts didn't come together in that you can't do all of this and still save your Deny. And so I like had it in my head that we needed to keep the Deny to be safe, and then I completely just got disjointed in those thoughts. Oops. All right, but this is going to be our final battle. We'll see how things go here against the old deserter-based Vigio deck.
I pull the strings. The forest and I are one.
Kind of a scary block onto the spider. If he has a Vile Feast, it kind of sucks, but
Catch me if you can.
we have an additional Ahri should we need it. Our hand is like, just doesn't do anything.
Like steps.
Do we want to do this? Like, he can kill the Ahri. But again, we have another one in hand. I think this is okay. Right, he can get the Elise block. He has it in the wrong order.
It will all
There you
be
go.
over soon.
Okay. You're still ready to party, girl. I wouldn't just give up on you like that. There's the Vile Feast. Okay.
A tribute to the fire god.
Gonna get the flip. Ugh, that's gross.
Let me change into something more comfortable.
Oh shit. Hit 4 chimes. Where'd they even land? One on Ahri and a bunch on the Brigand? Okay. See what we can do here. See if we can't get some more on the Highwayman. Oh man, I know one of the things I was thinking of for today. All you European folks enjoy the football, not the good football. You seem to like the you seem to like the football that is appropriately called soccer over at these places, but you all call it something different. Kansas City is getting some of the World Cup games. That was a big announcement that I think they're coming to 20 some cities in North America, and then Kansas City got picked as one of them that got to host some of the games. And so it's a pretty big deal out here. They'll be playing at Arrowhead Stadium. That's where the Chiefs play. And then soccer is apparently fairly big out here. I don't know. Like I know that the Kansas City the men's soccer team won the national event maybe in like 2015, 2018. I think the Royals won in 2015, and then Sporting KC won in like 2018. I think the Sporting KC won like right before I moved out here, and then of course the Chiefs won in 2020 or so, 2021. I can't remember the exact sequencing there, but soccer is apparently popular. I don't know. I'm gonna have to keep up with it a little bit here just to stay more current. But it's a big thing. It's a big deal for the city. You know, you can go anywhere. You can pick like in the States, you can pick a New York. I think Kansas City is like the 30th or the 40th, somewhere in there in terms of size. And so it's like, you know, you can just kind of throw a dart at the United States and hit a city that's bigger than Kansas City. And so it's a big deal for us to get a win like that.
Hey, boss, what we got?
Alrighty, let's see how this one goes. We had a poor early game run in with the Elise. I feel like we're getting to this space to where we're just about to get blown out by a Viego. But we'll keep giving it a shot. I'm going to drop the Thousand Tailed here. Like, we have the option. We could just play Shadow Assassin and hope to draw into something else, but those aren't really the kind of hopes and dreams I'm all about. And so we'll just drop the Thousand Tailed. See if we can't pick up a spell or two to protect us in the upcoming turn. Whenever he wants to like drop Atrocity on our face, maybe we'll have a deny at that point, and just see if we can't properly build back up. Doesn't seem like he's going to have a Vigio. Feel like if he had Vigio, this would have been the spot to just drop him. It's kind of odd seeing the Arachnoid Sentry come down just to try and stop Bard a little bit. Wow, that's a pretty mega pass in terms of mana efficiency. Mega pass, not a little pass. That was a pretty big pass. Sure.
The order rewards its faithful.
So it's like, yeah, what other like sports and things can I talk trash on? I of course talk a lot of trash about chess. Might as well get some soccer in the mix. Just talk trash about that game as well. All that matters is American football and apparently Legends of Runeterra. If I like it, that means it's cool. If it's not something I'm into, then it's, you know, mediocre to bad, right? That's pretty spot on analysis of how things work. All right, well, we're starting to make some magic happen in this game. Speaking of magic, I mean, let's just throw it all down. If he wants to hook our Dancing Droplet, that's fine. We can drop the Navori Highwayman here. That sounds all well and good.
My friend and I are soul collectors.
We're lethal with the Twin Disciplines if we want, but kind of like leaning more towards just concussive palming this Elise. See if we hit a good chime. Of course we don't. He doesn't have, like, his options here shouldn't be great.
For the wicked, for the dead, I bring
Okay, so he can like darkness something since he has Senna on the board now.
Don't have any warning
But if he's like popping one of our 3 attack 2 healthers, we're still lethal. Oh, he's got more cards. I think I feel better when he has more cards, right? Has to be 1 mana though. He's spending 3 on the darkness. What would his 1 mana play be? Can't be Ravenous Flock. Are they playing Blade's Edge? Go hard. I mean, sure. Boost up the droplet. That's how you get in there for the style points. Is getting the dancing droplet KO. And all right. Not a bad collection of games at 2.5 wins and 3.5 losses. It would have been a nice 3-3 record on the day if we hadn't punted that Annie match. And you know, it's kind of an interesting deck. Like, do I like this deck? Like, do I think that this is a good deck? I don't know. It's not the style of deck that I like. I play this and like after playing, 10 or 15 games, I'm like, do I want to play this deck? No. This deck does not really get the fire burning in my loins. And so I don't really have much desire to play it anymore. And so that's just me personally, things I like, football, things I don't like. It's not that I don't like chess and don't like soccer. I just don't follow them, so I'll talk shit about them. But we'll put those in the middle, right? Things I like, football, Runeterra. Things that I could be like, I guess I see why you like it. We'll say chess and soccer. Things I don't like, this Ahri Bard deck. And so that's pretty fair. That's pretty fair assessment of everything in life. I just don't like this. And so the thing kind of like attached to that is we could certainly play this better. I know that there's a lot of people that have quite a bit of experience playing with Ahri, especially if you were familiar with Ahri during the Ahri Kennen era of Runeterra. I did not play much Constructed then, so I'm not super familiar with playing Ahri. I am, of course, not the biggest fan of playing decks that have like Deny and Nopifies and shit. Control deck is not something I really want to be associated or playing. And then, a lot of the lines in this deck are very different than a lot of the other decks in the format. And so when you're having to kind of like forecast how to sequence these units to get the proper recalls, to get the proper bonuses running around, it's not something that I'm like particularly good at, or it's not something that I find particularly interesting or fun. And so I don't really have the desire to get good at it. And so it's not, a masterful showcase of this deck. I'm sure that there are dozens, if not thousands, of better pilots in this deck than me. And I'm sure many viewers watched this and said that they would have easily 6-0'd this. But, it's worthwhile to note it's becoming more and more popular. As the way I kind of see things with Runeterra, the metas are always super fucking weird to me, to where it's kind of one of these deals as to where if you saw like LSV sporting a deck on a Magic stream, it would immediately become like popular and noteworthy / worthwhile, to where if it was especially good, it would just immediately get picked up in the meta. And that shit just doesn't happen in Runeterra. I don't know why these things are so slow. I have no trouble kind of like picking through the top of the ladder and picking through the meta reports and things to find decks like this. But the community on a whole doesn't seem to find these things. And so you probably realistically won't run into this deck for another week or two, but it's something to keep on your radar as coming up and turning up and viable. And so I think kind of like the last note I have on something like this is I'm not the hugest fan of Bard. That this just feels like super high rolly to me. Like I played a bit of Bard when he was initially released, but since then I haven't like really made a point and an effort to play a ton of Bard, because I just don't like these games as to where it's like, okay, well, I really need to hit some bonuses on this Navori Highwayman, and I just completely missed. And it's like, okay, well, I drew a Saiyan Thousand Tailed, and I've got 3 bonuses on it, and I need to hit these other things. And it just feels like super high rolly. And when that's a factor, that's okay. That's fine that it's a thing, but you have to ask yourself the question, how good is this when it's good, and how bad is it when it's bad? And when it's bad, it didn't feel terrible. You know, I wasn't just like churning through these games, just being like, fuck, these chimes are really like annihilating me today. But like when they were hitting well, I was just kind of like, okay. And that's not like the feeling you should be getting when you're playing a deck. Is like when things are going right and things are going well and you're really doing it and stuff. And the best reaction you can get of how the game feels is, then you probably don't have something great on your hands. And so I don't know. You know, if you're an Ahri fanatic or a Bard fanatic, or you're really well versed with these style of decks, you might enjoy it and love it and pilot it better than me. But if I could give this deck a rating on how I feel about it, that rating is eh. And so, with that being that will do it for us today. I hope everyone enjoyed the video. You learned how to go a little bit better. You maybe learned a thing or two along the way and had a good time watching. This is Bust, and we thank you for being here.